All right, we're live
Wow.
for KAOS live stream. We have a new person with us. We'll probably
Hello.
deviate from what we usually do. We got Yuval with us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for trying to help us with what we're trying to do. Why don't you guys, maybe Yuval explain or Brian explain how you guys met and
First of all, I just wanted to ask. I'd just like to ask, how's Edward? Have you heard? Has he got power yet? Has he still got? Is Edward still in the dark where he is?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Yes. Have you heard?
I don't
anything,
know.
Cole?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay. Well, you're the one that arranged the meeting this week instead of Edward.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're trying to get things worked out, so Edward would take it over. And Texas, I guess, has had a good ice storm there or something, and taken out all their power. So
I think I heard about that.
yes, yeah, they're on their own separate power grid. They don't want to share with the rest of the country or the rest of the world. So they have their own grid, and that this type of thing happens when you won't connect with everybody else. Yeah. But anyway, we won't get into that too much. I was just wondering what the news was with Edward. We're missing him today. So Yuval, did you have a chance to go through our website and
I did.
Get a little,
I actually did. Yeah.
And
right after our talk, I did that.
Yeah. And but Yuval and I had a good talk last week, discussing his ideas and his system there and what we've been trying to do, and our group here. So did you have any questions at all, Yuval? Or?
No, I just wanted to update. I just got off the phone on a second call with a guy, and I have a meeting with him on Zoom on Wednesday, and I'm securing a lecture in front of 70 people concerning this.
Oh, right on, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that somebody in Israel or somebody? Somebody
in Israel.
Yeah. Okay.
It's an Israeli audience, about 70 people, mostly like 70-ish. They're elderly. So I'm trying to secure that lecture. It's my first lecture on the topic of just social and direct democracy. And I hope it goes well. I hope I secure the lecture.
Are you going to be in person or
in person?
in person.
Oh, in person.
That's good.
Yeah.
Make it much easier.
By the way, I want to interject real quick. I don't want to necessarily talk about this, but I want to know if you guys are willing and want to talk about this. What happened in the past week where we have somebody that was with us and now he doesn't want to be because he found out Yuval is here?
Yeah.
I think that is a ginormous topic that is extremely important and maybe more important than most of what we talk about. How to deal with this scenario where somebody wants to be involved but then doesn't want to be involved because... And in the email, he just said one word, Zionist.
Zionist, yeah.
He only said one word. And to be clear, I didn't read any of your documentation, so I don't know what he read.
Yep.
But I think it's a very important topic. I don't know that it should be the main topic of this episode, but at least another meeting, I'd like to talk about it. It's very important.
I'll tell you what I think. I think everybody has a choice.
Yeah.
He can choose not to participate because I'm a Zionist, and I obviously am because I live in Israel and I want to exist. And he can choose that. And the leadership can choose to boycott me. They can choose to let him leave. They can choose whatever they want.
Yeah.
And
we have Edward. Yeah.
Hey, Edward.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Oh, that's okay.
Good to meet you.
Glad to see you have power.
Yeah.
That's good. Everything okay there in Texas? A little better?
Cold. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's cold. Wow.
Well, welcome to my world.
No electricity at all?
Here.
Oh, we didn't. I was out of electricity for 4 days.
Ouch.
And we were holding a mean temperature of around 20.
So this is Yuval. Yuval, that's Edward.
Good
nice
to meet you.
Yuval.
Edward is the one that's mostly been setting up the website and stuff like that.
Yep.
And so he's kind of a technical guy for us. So as we were just talking about, you guys heard that Stephen is no longer with us, and he decided he didn't want to have anything to do with this because Yuval is a Zionist, and that's I just want to touch on this fact though, that, and I think this is where you're going with this, Rami, is that this has to be a bipartisan project. We have to allow everybody in here. And most people in Israel are Zionists, and we want to, we want an organization or be connected with Israel. We want to be connected with every country, and every we can't say certain people aren't allowed. I want we're building a database of public opinion, and that's everybody's opinion. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter if you're a conservative, you're a Trump supporter, or you're a member of ICE, or if you're a member of a fascist group, or even if you consider yourself a Nazi. We want those opinions from everyone. This is a database of public opinion. When we say public, that's public. That means everybody.
But
and so
let me.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I agree that they can be in the database.
Yeah.
But do they have to be in the meetings?
Well, okay. I think to a degree. So first of all, not very many really strong groups that are really out there, like let's say a Nazi. I don't think they believe in democracy. So I don't think we're going to get them wanting to support a direct democracy project, right? Mm-hmm. Something that's moving toward direct democracy. So I don't think we have to worry about the people that are really on the outskirts, because they're not going to support us to begin with. It's already a real hard. Most people don't support direct democracy, right? Yeah. So, but there will be conservatives. There might even be Trump supporters. There will, could be a member of ICE, like I was saying. There could be, groups that maybe we're not all that thrilled to have in our group, but that gives us legitimacy to a degree. I personally have been trying to find conservatives, because most of our group is not very conservative, find conservatives that want to join our group. I know that there's actually, there used to be quite a few conservatives that used to push for direct democracy. And so I know that there are people out there in these areas that should be on our side. And yes, we want them within our group, because if we're all siloed into one political, silo, and then it doesn't give us legitimacy. People will look at the system and think that we're going to design the whole thing to give our voices more voice, right? And no, we have to be. It's a bipartisan organization. And that goes for us as the group that are building the system. I don't think it would look good if we didn't allow conservatives in our group, right?
But I just want to say, you also said that in the email, bipartisan. And yes. Steve actually reacted to that by saying Zionism is not bipartisanship. Because bipartisanship means converging the two sides of the US politics, the left and the right. But the Zionism is outside bipartisanship. You know what I mean?
Okay, well then I should have needed a bigger word, because I want to include everybody.
I prefer the term apolitical.
Okay, apolitical. That's about maybe
that means it's a combination of every political divide across the world.
So I had this conversation with the guy I'm trying to do a lecture with. He has 70 people who want to hear. Will come every Sunday to hear a lecture, and I want to give them a lecture. And he asked me, how do you avoid politics with the topic you're talking about? Yeah. And I told him plain and simple, just social, or KAOS for that instance, is above left and right.
Yes.
Okay? In the terms of just social, in our system, even if you're an extreme leftist or an extreme rightist, or you're somewhere in the middle, in the moderate, you just have to be true to yourself and the system will adjust itself to you.
Can I add a few thoughts?
Yeah, sure.
And again, if you guys think this is not really important now, we can shelve it and talk about it later.
Go ahead.
I have a million thoughts about this. One of them was when Steve mentioned why he doesn't want to work with us anymore because we're willing to work with Yuval. He used the word Zionist. Maybe he was assuming we all had read some stuff. I didn't read anything.
Uh-huh.
If he meant, and by the way, there's multiple things he could have meant by that word Zionist.
Yeah.
Yuval mentioned it as, well, I don't want my country destroyed. Okay, that's one version. Another version that some people think the word means is, they have many different definitions. One of them might be, well, the people that are against Zionism, their definition is Zionism means genocide, as an example.
Yeah.
Well,
Zionism means,
some people think
Okay.
that Zionism means kill all the Palestinians. Some people think that.
Okay.
So there's clearly two different definitions that people are using in their heads, and if you're not on the same definition, then you're not even talking about the same thing. Well, when Stephen said the word Zionist, he didn't explain what he meant by it. If he meant we shouldn't have a country named Israel or whatever, well, then I wonder what he's thinking about the U.S. By that same logic, we shouldn't have a U.S.
Because of the British occupation of the U.S. by the Native Americans and
the Native Americans and all of that. Yes. Now, I'm a U.S. citizen.
But that's old news. Israel is currently happening in the same way. The whole conflict with the Israel and the Palestinians, Israelis and Palestinians were once in peace. Around 1943, 1945, everyone was at peace here, okay? But the British and the French fucked us. They fucked us hard. They did the Sykes-Picot Agreement. They gave the big Syria, what ISIS is fighting for, to the French, and they gave Israel to the British. And they fucked the Arabs, and they fucked the Israelis, and they began the conflict. The whole conflict is because of the Sykes-Picot Agreement between the British and the French. And
I think we're getting too deep into history, though. A little too far off topic here.
Actually, I disagree with you, Brian.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be a good idea to get some history behind it, so that maybe his opinion would be sitting there saying, "Hey, here's a factual history point on this, and look at us now." Yeah, it's his opinion. It's how he goes. But there's nothing wrong with going too deep in a little bit of it, because I think a lot of people don't understand Zionism.
Right. Yeah, could be, but I don't know if that is the place to try to define it.
That's true.
No,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I was agreeing with Brian on the, this probably wasn't the place to define it, but I also see Yuval's looks into things too.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify what I think Stephen was saying. When he said, I don't think we should be working with Zionists, he said also they're not doing bipartisanship or whatever. It's like he's saying, so never speak with Israelis.
Yeah.
Which is also means what? Is Israelis and other Israelis shouldn't speak with each other? Because, there's more than one side in the for people who call themselves Zionists.
Yeah.
Well, if we're never going to speak with them, how are we going to change their minds?
Yeah, that's right.
And I think he also is saying not only should he not work with us in this group, but also if he was in this group, we shouldn't allow opinions by Zionists.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
Yeah. But it's understand that's the way most people think. Most people on the average think that certain people should not have a voice at all. So that's kind of the norm.
Which means he disagrees with our very fundamental philosophy of what we're doing here.
Maybe.
Right.
Yes, maybe.
What do you mean maybe? Tell me how it's just a maybe.
Well, I don't know because we have to ask him specifically, but yeah, he mentioned a few other people he would not work with. If he thought that they were Nazis or if he thought that they were, yeah, you mentioned a couple other groups. I can't remember, but yeah, he
But
has a list of people he does not want to work with,
I
and
do think that it's worth going with him on Zoom one-on-one or via WhatsApp, telephone, whatever, having a
I
conversation
offered.
with him and seeing.
Yeah,
You offered?
I
What do you
did.
say?
I offered. He didn't seem interested. We had a bit of an email exchange, just him and I separately, and I got into this a little bit in more depth about but
So
basically
not
that
only is he against dealing with Zionists, he's also against dealing with people who are willing to deal with someone who self-proclaims as Zionist.
yeah,
What the fuck? That is really restricting yourself.
yeah, it's too restricting, and so I mean, yeah,
Edward?
that's the way it is, though.
I'm going to call a
Yeah.
point of order. We can't be sitting here bashing people live online.
I agree.
Okay.
I
I
don't
personally
think
agree.
that's productive to our process,
No,
and it
yeah,
would actually start making us look a little more
Yeah, it's petty. It's petty
non-apolitical.
politics. Yeah, it's
yeah,
the petty politics. That's what I call it.
yeah.
We don't need to bash people. Everyone is.
Is it because of the cussing or the ideas or what?
It's because
Uh,
people have to be true to themselves
I
first
meant
We're
and
guessing.
whatever
foremost.
I did.
And I
Is he
agree.
Yeah,
issue with what I
And I
did?
agree with him doing what's right for him, even
yeah.
if it's on my expense.
And we're also guessing at what he's thinking, and that's not a great idea either.
right.
So,
Yeah.
The old saying goes, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
yeah, that's right. Um,
So,
so yeah, to get back on to where we were here, kind of a little bit. Yuval, obviously, we want to promote our plan as opposed to yours,
Yep.
to some degree, and that there's a certain amount of overlap.
Yep.
I very specifically brought out a few things that you talked about that seem to overlap very much with what we were talking about here, because you bring up how important it is to have opinions out there for politicians and everybody else to see. And
Yeah.
it keeps everybody on the straight and narrow, kind of. It helps eliminate a lot of
Corruption.
corruption. Exactly. Yes. A politician can't tell us what tell us what the people want when we can see
Yeah.
what the people want, right?
You
And
can see it
politicians do
clearly.
this all the time. They're constantly doing this, saying, well, this is what
Yeah.
the people want, so that's what I'm doing, even if it's totally different than what the actual people want. Right? And we have no way of knowing this without a measurement of public opinion. Right? So, yeah, I'd like to emphasize that part, and that there's a lot of overlap between us, and I think you can see that as well. The next thing I'd like to bring up, though, is
Wait, can I comment
yeah,
a
sure,
small
yeah,
thing about what you said?
yeah,
The database of public opinion needs to come from somewhere. Needs to come from user interactions with an app, for instance. So my solution for this is constructing several private market apps for the public industry. Let me show you an example. I'll share screen for a second, if I can.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Opa, thank you so much. So this is Take Action. Take Action is a news aggregator. Basically, you see here the news, and on every news article, let's take something. Opa, this is good. This is good for me. I can share the article on various platforms. I can like or dislike. I'm not logged in. I can start a petition or sign a petition, and I can donate and volunteer in Southampton General Hospital or any organization that's linked to the article. So
yeah,
basically, it's an app that takes civil participation to a digital level of very, very actionable insights. Now, this
yeah,
will be connected to analytics platforms that will be shown to the public and will be part of the database of public opinion. It will be shown as, wait, I'll share screen again, sorry. It will be shown in a public database similar to Google Analytics, similar to what Google has. Stuff like this, how many pages they visited, how much,
I noticed that your
which
thing
articles
is not
they.
up. Did you mean, yeah, I don't know how this, did you mean for it to not be on the screen anymore?
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Never mind, sorry.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, I
So
don't know why.
basically, it's analytic systems on the app showing public opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my idea for it.
Yeah. And here's where I'm going to oppose that, or have our own version of this. There's the way you're doing it there. There's certain biases built in. You're putting forth an article or information, and then having people give their opinions or what have you on it. And the fact that you're the one putting the article forward is a form of manipulation. So this is.
But I'm not. It's the BBC. It's all the main news articles. All the
yes,
main
but
news
you
sources.
could be using Fox News instead. I mean, for an example, here in
No, I'm also using Fox News. Fox News will be in there. Everything will be in there.
But what those news channels decide to cover is another layer of control. If they know that's what you're going to be putting up on your site, and that's what everybody can talk about, then they're going to avoid certain things that they don't want to be talked about, or amplify things that they want to be talked about. So this is there's always
there's going to be bias
of control.
There will be layers of
there's
bias,
always
but we
going to
need
be
to
bias.
penetrate them.
Well, that's why, I mean, if you looked at our website, we want to do this. And the other thing is here too is that unless you're going to do stuff on knitting, or on archery, or on the art of making tea, unless you're going to post all those things on your system, you are only narrowing the amount of participation you're going to get, because people are passionate about all kinds of strange things, and they may not use or want to put any information in on stuff that is your standard political type of discussions, or things that people are talking about. And so this is where popularity and trust. So this is where we touch on this, and this is why we focused our system here on a free flow of public opinion on anything, in just a absolute bare bones database that that is not connected to anything. So if people have things they want to say about an article, like you're saying there, they'll just link that themselves, and then put their opinions on there.
That's Reddit.
So, I'm sorry, what?
That's Reddit.
Yeah, well, that's Reddit, but in much more depth. We don't see on Reddit exactly who is saying what, and it doesn't really stay there forever. It is there forever, but it's not that easily searchable to see what.
Now it is. They got it. The AI search. It's amazing. The AI search for Reddit.
It is absolutely getting much better, and yeah, now that you're using AI, it's definitely stepping it up. But there's too many bots on Reddit, where we don't have a good history, and in fact, they're removing history. This really bothers me on Reddit. Now you cannot see what people have posted or what their comments are in the past if they don't want to, and you can hide all that. Like, what are they trying to cater to the bots? What the hell are they doing? Why'd they do that? Right?
The Chinese, the Chinese invested in Reddit.
Yeah, exactly. There's Russians, there's Chinese, and whatever, right? So why are they doing that? That's going the opposite direction of what we want to do. I want to build a history, and I want people to see what kind of things I've done, and what kind of opinions I have put out there, and what I have supported and what I haven't. And I want to build this history so that people can build some trust level in me. And I want to be able to do that for everybody else. And I don't want to see the information from people that aren't going to tell me about themselves, and they're not going to allow me to see what they've done in the past, right? Mm-hmm. So this is where Reddit is heading off in the wrong direction. So obviously Reddit's not going to cut it in this regard, right? So this is where we need a system where we can build a history. I like to equate this to when you lived in a neighborhood or you live in a town, right? People see you every day, and they get an idea whether or not you're an asshole or a decent person, whether you're helpful or you're not, and you build up a trust level with other people in your community, and so if people trust you, you get more clout with them when you are talking about things or saying, you know, we should do this or we need to do that. You don't give everybody the same their opinions the same weight or the same value. Everybody judges everybody else, and we need more of that. We need a very clear method of doing this, and then on top of that, we need to be forgiving, because everybody makes mistakes. So if we start to see how people make mistakes and they want to make their lives better because they screwed up here or there, and that's all out in the open, and that allows us to be more forgiving and understanding, and this raises our cognitive empathy, and which is something that is very, very critically, but sadly becoming more of a problem. People are not empathetic with people on the internet, and you know, and if when you screw up and you hope that people forgive you, that makes it easier for you to try to do the same for others, right? So this community that you can build, and even though we're talking about a community of billions of people, our AI can give us that feedback, and it can tell us, well, this guy has been nice to people in the past. This person has lied to everybody. This person is, you know, and we get this information when we're looking at their opinions, and it makes a huge difference in how much bearing it gets, right? So anyway, I just want to emphasize that. Like you said, it is Reddit. We're not, right now, social networks, politicians and people are influenced by social networks. And I'm saying that that's a problem because they're getting such bad information. But it would be a good thing if they were getting good information, right? So we just want to create very similar effect to what Twitter and Facebook and Reddit are already doing, but we want to give better information, right? So that's the way I look at it. You know, we're doing the same thing but better. So anyway, you're comparing us to Reddit, yes, but we're better. We're going to be way, way better than Reddit. So
well, I hope you succeed. I hope you succeed.
Yeah, well, it's and then the other thing is popularity. Now we've already talked about this. This is not a popular subject matter. This is not a popular idea to push in direction of more democracy or towards direct democracy. And so we have to find a way to get this in the back door. It's not going to happen if we expect people to, you know, push their politicians to make this happen. It's just definitely never going to happen, right? If we're expecting people to vote this in, or our existing politicians to support this, that's just never going to happen. But nobody, I like to point out, nobody asked for Twitter. Nobody asked for Reddit. Nobody asked for Facebook. They just created it, and it caught on because it was a useful tool. And that's the same way we need to do this. We need to build this as a useful tool, and then it catches on, and it just kind of gets slipped in the back door. Nobody asked for these things, and yet the biggest one is our phones. Our phones are the biggest bugging, tapping fucking instrument there is. When I was young, everybody said, you know, we're being monitored too much, and you know, the big state can watch everything we're doing, and you know, and this was before we got our phones with a camera on it and can listen to everything, right? And now we're tracked. We all carry a device that tracks us everywhere. Why do we do this? Because it's a convenient tool, right? That's the only reason we all carry a phone, is because it's a convenient tool, even though we all recognize we are giving up a huge amount of privacy. We know that we can be hacked, and that people can track wherever we are. They can listen to everything we're saying. They can even hack our camera and see what we're doing. But we
and the
risk
FBI
that.
can come to your house with printed out emails from your email account for the past 10 years.
That's right.
Yeah. Right, and those of us on computers with cameras and mics, we're subjected.
It's amazing what we have given up.
Too.
It's amazing what we have given up for privacy, right? And nobody would have predicted this. Nobody. There's nobody in the world that would have said earlier, all right, well, let's make a thing that could track wherever you go. And everybody would have said, no, we can't do that. But here we are, right? They got it in through the back door. They built a tool that we just can't resist. And next thing you know, we have it. So I really want to emphasize that.
It's a free market for you.
Yeah, it's a free market. That's right. And so this is what we want to do. We want to slip this in the back door. We are not going to convince everybody that we should be doing this. But at the same time, if we build a tool that is so useful, they're just not going to be able to help themselves. And then the next thing you know, we're creating a world with higher levels of cognitive empathy, right? And where we're more exposed than ever before, but now we're careful. We're careful about what we do because everybody can see it. And so we think a little more before we troll people or do shitty things on the internet, right? So that's the better world that we can get. Yeah.
Who's building it? Who's building the thing?
Well, nobody's building this yet, but
you gotta build it.
Yeah, but
that's actually what we're working on.
Yes,
our main task is to build a team that could build it. None of us can build it.
Two things. Two things here.
You're 4 people. You're 3 people. You have more volunteers in the email list. I saw it. I'm one person. I have a CTO who's for hire. I pay him money, and I pay him 10,000 shekels that's around $3,000 to take action, to make the app I showed you. And I'm investing in it, and I'm working on it, and I'm trying to close lectures, and I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, you're trying. There's no doubt
you're saying we should invest our personal money into this.
I invest my personal money in this. Yes.
I'm not
my personal money.
I'm not suggesting that just yet. There are 2 things. So first of all, I'm building it. We've talked. Rami has what was it? Your cousin or your uncle? Who was that, Rami, that we had in here?
Uncle.
We've had conversations with a couple of. It's my uncle. We've had a couple of conversations with programmers, systems analysts, people like that, to learn about how we would go about doing this. But they have not joined the project or anything.
But the point is, the point is, we've got good advice that it's all pretty cookie cutter kind of stuff because it is such a basic thing that we are building. Just it's just a database, a really large scale database. And so it's off the shelf technology. So it's not like we have to invent anything. Okay. So it's going to come together very quickly once we get the money to invest into it. So
today with today's technology, with AI vibe coding and all that, like the app, I paid $3,000 for the guy. That doesn't usually cost $3,000. Before AI, it used to cost
$100,000,
$10,000 or $15,000. But now he cheapened the thing because he uses AI.
Yeah. Well,
so let me ask. This guy is not just a paid programmer.
He's also invested. He is paid. He's paid.
I said, hold on. I said he's not just a paid programmer, and he loves the project. Am I right?
He doesn't have a stake in the project, no.
He doesn't care about the project either?
He likes it. He's a friend of mine.
Okay, there's some personal aspect in there too then.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine, and he likes the project. I tried to recruit him to be the CTO, like have a 50% stake in the project and all that, but we had differences in opinions of how it should work, and it didn't work out. And at the end, I hired him to do my thing, how I understand it.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to emphasize that that part of it is pretty cookie cutter. So we don't need to spend a lot of time worrying about how we're going to build it. It's more about how we get this thing off the ground. How do we get so
How
right
to drive
now
traffic.
yes, and right now mostly we're focused on trying to get influential people involved. If we can get some influencers involved, and then the next thing with along with these influencers or at the same time, we need to build a bit of a community throughout the world. So if we have some people in the States, we have some people here in Canada, we have some people in Israel, we have some people in the Middle East and Iran, in China, and Japan, all these different
Taiwan,
organizations, Taiwan,
Taiwan.
all yes, anyway, everywhere, right? And start to have some groups working in all these different locations, so that when we launch, we want to be able to do some fairly cheap advertising, but mostly word of mouth. That this is a great place, and I want to keep the focus, on not on politics. We want to, even though it's a political tool, I think our best bet is to try to sell this as a best rating system, where you rate
Yeah.
your television shows, your movies, you rate your Uber drivers, you rate your your restaurants, all this type of thing. And I think that's our best way to get this thing out there and start to get our toe or foot in the door, is to get people using it as a rating system, because we know that rating systems are flawed. There are people out there wishing that they had a better, more less biased rating system that is not tainted. All the rating systems that are out there are you can buy them, you can pay to get better ratings. You can they're all tainted in one way or another. So
Well, I hope you
I've
succeed. Sounds good. I hope you succeed.
so this is this is the angle we want to go. I think is so right now we're mostly trying to find influencers, and that's what the direction I think we need to go.
Mhm.
Right now, so we've got to work our way up in that regard. I think if we got Joe Rogan or somebody like this, obviously that would be massive.
Yeah.
I fully believe if we got, if I was able to explain what we want to do to Joe Rogan, I think he would get on board. If I had managed to get an audience with him.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have to start smaller. So we need to think about people that we know that are smaller influencers. I've been trying myself through different groups. Anybody that I find interesting out there. I'm not having much success so far, but this is the route that I've been trying to go. I send emails at least 1 to 2 a week out to different influencers, and trying to get them on board. And
Yeah, that sounds rough.
yeah, and as you
My
know,
strategy personally is
you were
quite
showing me the
different.
list. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were showing me the list of people you sent an email to, and as you know, you don't get any
No
good response.
answer.
Very
No
few.
answer.
No answer. Yes, yes, I know exactly how it is, but I keep trying. And
Yeah.
as these people have pointed out, though, Rami and stuff, I don't romance them good enough. I need to. I'm trying to get them in bed the first fucking meeting, and
So my
that's
strategy is a bit different. Actually, Rami
yeah,
asked us a question in the chat. What is Just Social all about?
yeah,
So I'll try to explain it, and then I'll explain my strategy for it, how to advance it. So basically, Just Social's manifest talks about how for nearly 200 years after the Industrial Revolution, right now, we're still living in the same outdated social structures of the Industrial Revolution that came out of the Industrial Revolution. The education system still operates like an assembly line. Democracy allows us to have influence once every 4 years. The public sector lags behind existing technologies by decades. Decades. So Just Social says it's time for us to use modern technology that exists in 2026 in the public sector. With that, we can build a continuous direct democracy in which every citizen as a voice is heard on an ongoing basis, both by the public and by officials and by journalists, not only in the ballot box, but continuously throughout the term. Just Social believes democracy should split up beyond the three governmental structures, which are the parliamentary branch, I forgot the branches in English. I
The executive and then
executive,
judicial.
executive, judicial, and legislative. Right. We believe there should be 5 independent branches of government. On top of these 3, we believe another branch of government should be the people, meaning the analytics, the database of every citizen's opinion on political matters, however they choose to give them digitally and so forth, and to keep the privacy of that branch of government, to keep them cyber secure, and to have that as a separate branch of government. The people their opinion should matter. And another branch of government should be academia. I know some academia places are not all for Israel. I still believe academia should be a separate branch of government, regulating the other branches of government, both the people, both the legislative, every branch. They should regulate every branch of government to keep them educated, to keep them up to standards, up to academic standards. So I believe there should be 5 branches of government, and beyond that, we should carry out a very fundamental education reform that puts the student in the center. We want students to agree democratically in their classrooms on 5 topics each week, which 5 hours each week, which they learn stuff that interests them, not just stuff that's being stuff that's being
indoctrinated
by the detached state. They should pick what they want to learn part of the time, and the other part of the time, their parents, their teachers, their environment, their real state, not just the legislative state, but the real people of the state should also pick what they learn, not just the detached state. And that's what Just Social is all about.
Yeah. You have any questions, Rami?
Many years ago, I found out about a potential 4th branch of government that seems similar to the 4th one you mentioned. And it was a Stanford professor who went all around the world performing this test of what his idea was. And it wasn't just an idea. He did this in many, many countries in the world. It would be a scenario where us as the audience get to see deliberations of the people, and they are representatives of us across all sorts of different types. So you'll have a physician, you'll have a carpenter, you'll have a teacher. All of them get to deliberate on all the issues that are in politics. And the way he set it up was there's like an intake survey of what did you know before the deliberation, and then an outtake one, what do you know after? And then we as the audience get to see the change of these people. And if I'm a physician and I'm listening to a physician, I connect more on what those ideas are and so on. I thought it was a pretty good idea, and it was working across the world. He did it in, I think it was 16 different countries. That seems similar to the fourth branch of government you're talking about. I never heard the fifth branch of government idea of the academia. I don't know how that one would work. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think he's a professor, right? He's a professor in academia, that guy.
Yeah. I could try to find his name. It was like 15 years ago that I looked.
So I think academia should regulate our appointed officials. I mean, the parliamentary members, the secretaries, they should regulate them. How should they regulate them? Put them to the test. Give them actual factual tests on the knowledge they should have to properly manage what they're responsible for.
Like giving them standardized tests like we do in school.
Standardized tests all the way. AI tests, not something difficult. A bunch of tests every month.
That would have ruled out Trump, I'm pretty sure, right?
For sure. For sure. Yeah. No, they should be proper professionals. They don't need to be pieces of shit. I mean it. They should be professionals. It should be what's it called? A meritocracy? A meritocracy. Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah. It seems to be going
how
the
would
way
the checks and balances work?
Huh?
So, in the three branches that already exist in the U.S. and other places, each one is designed to check another one.
In Israel, they don't. We have one branch of government currently. We previously had two, but one just faded out.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Well, anyway, let me finish my question. So my question is, the way the U.S. system works is each branch is designed to check another branch and so on, to divide up power. So what would be the checks and balances on these fourth and fifth branches?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I don't have all the answers. I do believe that we collectively, when we join forces, will have all the answers through discussion. But if I put it if I try to answer your question, I think that when the public opinion is open to journalists and politicians and the people themselves, if public policy strays too much away from public opinion, from the majority of public opinion, there will be a rebellion. So if we measure public opinion exactly, and you can't lie about it, it should work in the benefit of those opinion holders, of the people. And so that's the checks and balances of the people versus the other three branches of government. And academia, the checks and balances are academia regulates the knowledge of the other branches of government. They make sure they're professionals, and the other branches of government make the rules of how they regulate, and the legislative passes rules of how academia should regulate and all that.
I guess I'm most interested in how that academic branch would be checked on by, let's say, the fourth branch, the people branch. How do we make sure they're not screwing up? I think you were trying to explain that with the...
They're not at the top. They're not at the top, the academia. They're there. They're the fifth branch.
Okay, none of them are at the top, I'm guessing. None of the five.
No, none of them are at the top.
They're all like equal level in some way.
Somehow there's checks and balances. We need to define it more clearly than I can right now. Because look, I'm not a legal expert. I don't have a degree even. I don't have a degree. I didn't study political science. The whole idea for continuous direct democracy came from reading a book on political thought by Weipel that talks about political philosophers, not even real politics, political philosophers like Rousseau, like Hegel, like Locke, like Green, like all those, Rawls. And that's how the idea became to be. But I'm not an academic. I'm not I'm not I'm not a parliament. I'm not in parliament. I'm not nothing. I'm just an ordinary guy
Yeah, you're
who
part of
has
that
a
foot
dream. Yeah, I have a dream. That's my dream. That's what I want.
Yeah, we're all dreaming. We're all dreaming. Um, can I get us back well into what I want to talk about here? Yuval, obviously I'm trying to focus here, trying to get you on side with us more, and I hope you understand that that's kind of my objective here. So anyway, I'd like to ask you something here that I think is relevant. Do you, I mentioned on our website and stuff the whole concept of um, what do they call it? The noosphere. The noosphere is the idea that the world is slowly evolving to be like one big brain. Eh?
Yeah.
Some of the tech people like to call the same, very similar theory here, the singularity, right?
No, it's not
And
a singularity. It's not a singularity. It's a
well, I don't.
superorganism. It's not the same thing. You know what a
Okay, well,
superorganism is?
yeah, well, I kind of yes, and I think this fits in that category, yeah, of the whole Earth being like a superorganism, yeah.
Yeah.
So is that a belief that you tend to carry as well? You think that we're evolving in that direction?
But I think our organs are all wrong.
Okay.
All
All right.
wrong.
You want to get to give explain that a little more?
Well, the branches are the organs.
Not just the
No.
branches, the whole industrial social structures of the three branches of the national security, of the IRS, of
Yeah.
the whole public institute, the whole of the public institutions is our
Yeah.
post-industrials
Yeah.
constructs, and
Yeah.
they're not relevant for the digital age at all.
No.
And
Yeah. I agree.
there are societal organs right now. They make up the the superorganisms organs,
Yeah.
and they're all wrong. We need to construct new organs.
Yeah. So one of the organs, though, I think, in this entire thing will be, and I think it's pretty obvious that we need a database of public opinion. If we're not all on board about what everybody else is thinking, and not just us, but AI as well. This is data that AI needs to help us navigate this whole new system, organ, as you say, or the biosphere, and or the noosphere. Anyway, it's to me anyway. From my point of view, it seems obvious that we need a database of public opinion. And when we talk about this, once again, though, not just focused on politics, it's on everything. It's your sports, it's your hobbies, it's your future thoughts about where we should be going. Are we going to go into space? Are we going to go? Are we going to colonize Mars? All of this all needs to be discussed, and we all need to be thinking about it. We need a database of public opinion so that we can have some kind of idea what everybody else is thinking. To me, this seems pretty
I
obvious.
understand that, but like I said, we strategize differently because I don't think talking about it, even with celebrities, mega celebrities, and
Yeah,
interview Trump about it. I don't know. It won't solve the problem. The problem. If you build it, they will come, or don't,
but
or not.
at
I
some
don't know.
point we
But
need to
we
know
have to
what
try.
everybody's. But we still want to know what the celebrities or even Trump people or whoever are thinking, right? They may not be, the biggest voice in the system. They don't have to lead us, but they can. But we want everybody's opinion, and everybody we need to have a better understanding of what everybody is thinking,
Yeah, but
right?
like you said, you're trying to get, you're trying to find somebody who will save you, Rogan, or somebody who will help you publish, make this thing
Yeah,
famous. Nobody
yeah,
will save you. You're all alone.
No, there's Rami, and I got Edward. There's a bunch of other people on the sub. We're working on it. We're working on it.
Yeah. I have a question on an actionable thing. This
Okay.
is recorded. Where is this recorded? What's going on with this app, StreamYard, whatever?
So
Rami,
this
you
is
want to tell them?
StreamYard
Yeah,
is
let
just a
Rami.
recording place, the studio, but it's right now live on the YouTube channel KAOSinstitution.com or not
Mhm.
.com. The YouTube handle is Chaos Institute. I can put the link.
No, it's okay. I have a question. Do we want to make this a Spotify podcast?
Sure.
That
I
would
didn't
be
know
an interesting concept.
Spotify.
Upload the whole thing into Spotify.
I don't know. We've never thought about that.
Because podcasts are really hot on Spotify right now, and for the last a couple of years. And people might be interested in a direct democracy podcast.
What's an
Yeah.
interesting concept?
By the way, these
I like
meetings
that idea.
are like two things. The first half is kind of like a podcast where we're discussing democracy and whatever.
Mhm.
The second half is just like an internal meeting. So I don't know how to port that to.
We can cut it. We can cut
You
it.
could cut it.
Yeah.
Or you could just put it all out there, and it's up to people if they want to hear the more administrative
Yeah,
parts.
that would be the easier thing anyway.
You know, and as long as it's later, they can always go, well, this is getting boring, and they shut it off. At
Yeah,
that
this
point.
is getting boring. Shut it off.
Yeah. So I don't
We
think
can
we need
also
to actually
like
separate it.
proclaim in the podcast, like before we
Yeah.
move to the administrative part, we like proclaim we're now moving to the administrative part, and there you
That's
go
right.
away.
Yeah, and you put that in your timestamps or whatever as
Yep.
well.
Yep.
Right. So
definitely should
I
look
think
into
that could be interesting. My profession, I'm a digital marketer. I do campaigns on Facebook, Google, Outbrain, Netflix, whatever. I do campaigns. I'm a campaigner, campaign manager, whatever. So I can give you service.
yeah, well, you sound useful. That sounds like a useful thing for us. I was also wondering, is this available? I've never tried it, but I mean, another one is I'm on my iPhone, and I obviously so through the iPhone they have their own apps or
To
their own app
music?
for podcast. They have their own podcast app system,
Yeah.
right? Is this available on there? I wonder. I've never really tried. I'll have to do a search
We
to see whether
we
or
can
not
put
it is.
it. I've never tried the Apple podcast thing.
Yeah.
I'm not too up to date if they're taking it down or is it useful or their market share, but I can check.
Well, just
I know
bit by
that
bit.
Spotify is the most popular podcast and music app currently. I don't know
And
how
that's
much of the
worldwide.
market they have. I don't know their market share, but I know it's above 70%, I think.
And almost all the rest of it is YouTube. And from what I understand, YouTube is the new thing that is growing. Podcast used to be just when people hear the word podcast, they think only audio. But now, because of YouTube, it's now more seen as video also.
And yeah, also.
And Spotify has moved towards that, and with the video too.
They did.
But the old way was you make a podcast and distribute it to all the podcast systems. But Spotify and YouTube are trying to be just me system.
I have to check the market share. I'm not sure about that,
things.
but I think you can run ads on YouTube towards towards these videos. You can run ads on Spotify towards the Spotify podcast. You can leverage the whole thing. You know, these meetings, you can leverage them to get more people interested with a budget.
Yeah, well, we would like to do that if we can.
You said with a budget. How big of a budget?
Let me calculate in dollars. $1,000 a month plus retainer.
Yeah, we can't do that. It's not at this point.
Yep.
We don't have the budget for that. As I mentioned to you, Yuval, I have a wife. I have to get everything past my wife.
No, I understand. I'm just saying. Campaigns cost money. You gotta pay Google. You gotta pay the retainer also, which is cheaper. But yeah.
Yeah. We're not ready for that kind of budget at this point. Maybe in the future, but not just yet.
Yep.
I have to be able to justify this to the wife, like I said. So we'll hopefully get there eventually.
Hopefully, I'll give you all the money once I have it in my pocket.
Well,
I already charged. Wait, I'll tell you how much I charged last month. I charged $3,300 last month.
Are you going to be interested? I mean, obviously, you're not buying into you don't want to change what your trajectory is right now, and you want to continue with your own website and everything like that, which is understandable. Are you going to continue with coming to the meetings, do you think, and become a regular guest here?
Sometimes not a regular, but I'll come every 2 weeks, when I get it.
Yeah, every once in a while or so.
Every once in a while,
good.
yeah.
Stay in touch. And then something else that you bear in mind is, you know, you don't have to answer this. I'm going to kind of hope that maybe in the future, if we do seem to be getting some traction, and we're getting to the point that we're trying to organize groups in different parts of the world, hopefully you might be willing to do that part for Israel and help us organize in Israel.
Yeah.
If we get to that kind of level.
If we get the people, I can organize that.
Yeah. Well, that would be great. I like to
there
think
might
that we
be
have
even more than
here.
that. There might be a connection even more than that. Maybe one day, if KAOS is live as the system we imagine it, it also becomes that fourth branch of government that you've always talking about.
Hopefully.
Yes. It's kind of overseeing and it's checking, and it is. I mean, it's helping us identify corruption within the various branches that already exist. It's a great in every country, you know, and not just in America or in Israel or here in Canada, but in every country. You know, I like to think that eventually we can kind of see a merger between, you know, the very Western style of governing and the Far East as far as China goes, right? China likes to claim that they're more democratic than America. And in some ways, I can see where they get their argument from, right? There is ways that people's voices do get out there, and they do listen to the people to some degree. Sometimes it takes a lot before they do, but they do, and they do cater to their people to some degree. And they will argue with you that they are more democratic, just in a different way. So, you know, as we grow this, and it can become more of a voice to help them become more democratic, right? And then plus, as it's affecting the Western world and how we run our politics, I'm hoping eventually we can reach a merging agreement where we can all kind of see how one another are more similar than we are different. Right? Did you want to say something, Edward?
Yeah, I need to go early today. I also know Rami and Yuval needs to go. Can we continue this process next week?
Yeah, absolutely. We're good for the week, I think. And I think it was very good to have Yuval join us. Yuval,
thank you for having me.
Yes, and thanks for coming, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you very much.
Good to meet you guys.
I'm sorry I was a little late getting in.
Marketing professionals that have helped us so far.
Yeah,
we know a little bit about marketing to get this far, but you know that's it.
Yeah, we need help. We definitely need help.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I guess we should end here. Thanks for coming. See you next time.
Bye.
It's gonna be a good